afternoon. So we are moving in our second video here on parts of speech from pronouns and antecedents into adjectives. Now, adjectives are becoming important for us in 7th grade, and as we move through the rest of our schooling, the rest of middle school and high school, because our writing is starting to become more precise. We need to make sure that we are choosing our words carefully and that we are choosing the best words for the meaning that we are trying to make. And this is also going to tie into our lessons this week and moving forward with connotation, which is just the emotional attachment to words, as well as figurative language, right? Why did the author write this metaphor? How does the metaphor impact the writing? How does the connotation of this passage impact its tone? How does the connotation and your use of figurative language impact your writing? Does it make it stronger? Does it make it weaker? What does it do? So adjectives describe, as you should already know, or modify nouns or pronouns by providing information about number, size, color, condition, etc. Adjectives appear before a noun unless you're using a linking verb. These verbs that are hard for us to remember, but we need to try to start remembering. Am, is, are, and were. In English, there is a rule about the order we place adjectives. Opinion comes first, then size, then age, then shape, then color, then origin, then material, then purpose. So trying saying these words aloud, one will feel wrong. A lovely big white French cotton towel. A lovely white big French towel. How do you know when to use commas between adjectives? So, how do you know when to use commas between adjectives? So, do the adjectives coordinate? Could you put an and in between them? Or can the adjectives be switched and still make sense? So, for example, you would use a comma with the dark, chilling cave was quiet. You can also switch this to the chilling, dark cave was quiet. The dark and chilling cave was quiet. Notice here, you can use all three of these. You can write them all three different ways and they all sound okay. But do the adjectives have to be in a certain order? They build upon each other to describe the noun. So you would have no comma if they are doing this. Again, for example, he wore a heavy wool coat. Right? We are not going to say he wore a wool heavy coat because they don't go in that order, right? Remember up here, the material comes close to last. He wore a wool and heavy coat. Again, it doesn't work like it did up here. Okay? So let's practice. Write a sentence describing a puppy with these adjectives. Decide whether or not to use commas. So pause my video. You will do this. And then I'm going to be moving on. So comparative. Oh man, I keep spelling comparative wrong. Comparative. I did it again. I knew it. Comparative and superlative adjectives modify nouns by describing a quality in relation to other items. Comparative form is used to compare two things. Superlative is used to compare 3 or more things. No. So, comparative and superlative. So, if it's one syllable, you add ER, add EST, depending on what you want it to be. So fast is one syllable. So you would add ER, make it faster, or add EST, make it fastest. Okay. If it's ending in Y, two syllables ending in Y, change Y to I and add ER. Change Y to I and add EST. Typos, guys, the typos. So, for example, happy, two syllables, ends in Y, it would become happier or happiest. If it's two syllables not ending in Y, you use more before the adjective or most before the adjective. So, careful, two syllables, more careful or most careful. And then if it's irregular, forms change completely. So, good becomes better or good becomes best. So forming comparative and superlative adjectives. While most two-syllable words follow the rule above, there are some two-syllable words that can use either rule. You drop the Y, add I and ER, EST, or use more, most. So for example, quiet can become quietest, narrowest, cleverest, shallowest, but could you also say more quiet, more narrow, the most clever? So words with 3 or more syllables always use more and most when forming comparative and superlative forms. Keep that one in mind. So let's practice. So here, you guys are going to practice unhappy, forceful, pretty, and bad. Okay? So again, pause the video and then we will go over it. All right? Pause the video and then we will go over it. Unhappy is 2 syllables and it ends in a Y, so you would make that unhappier or unhappiest, changing the Y to an I and adding the ER or the ESD. Forceful is 2 syllables, not ending in a Y, so you would say more forceful or most forceful. Pretty is 2 syllables, again ending in a Y, so that would be, if I can get this to click in there, prettier or prettiest. And then bad is an irregular adjective, so it would become worse or worst. Okay, that is it for adjectives right now. And our next video will cover adverbs super quickly, hopefully. Hopefully that'll be the quickest video. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the last video. Bye, everybody.